Friends, today we're going to be talking about the ultimate portable gaming monitor that is out on the market right now. This is the ASUS ROG Strix XG17AHPE. This is 1080p, 17 inches, 240 hertz. This is the best portable gaming monitor that you can get on the market right now. We're going to talk about it after I tell you about today's video sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Four Sigmatic. My friends, this is the only coffee I allow in my household. This is Four Sigmatic's mushroom ground coffee. I love it so much. This one particularly here is the one I drink every single day. It's coffee with lion's mane mushrooms, and there's tons of research out there, and you can look at the links in the video description that describe the cognitive benefits of culinary consumption of mushrooms, not those types of mushrooms, things like the lion's mane mushroom that can actually help you with your brain cognitive performance throughout the day, or even with neurological repair. There's been some evidence done on that. I'm not saying that Four Sigmatic does that. I'm just saying mushrooms in general are a good thing to consume, and Four Sigmatic has coffee that lines up to that. And if you use the link in the video description, use coupon code UFDTech, you could save 10% off of your order with them. But they don't just have coffee, they have teas, they have different mushroom blends, they have mushroom powder that you can put into various different things, and you can just experience the great beneficial world that is consuming mushrooms. It's great stuff, friends. So check them out, use coupon code UFDTech, save 10% off of your first order. Only coffee I ever drink. So before we talk about this ROG Strix XG17, I'm gonna short its name down to XG17. Let's talk about a little bit of history, because I did a video on the world's best portable gaming monitor about a year ago. You can check out that video right up there, in which we covered the G-Story model, which was 1080p and 120 hertz, and also required you to plug into an AC adapter. I thought that was one of the best monitors that you could get on the market that was portable for you to move around. Well, 2 weeks later at Computex, ASUS announced this puppy, and it's been in and out of stock for the past few months, and I finally got my hands on it, and I'm kind of confused why it keeps going out of stock, because right up front, the price is $500. This is a very expensive monitor. You can easily get a regular 1080p 240 hertz monitor for way less than this. There are a couple of regular monitors at 240 hertz that are going for about half the price of this. Obviously, they'd be cheaper in a few ways, but 240 hertz isn't where this stops. And obviously, the main selling point of this is that it's completely portable. If you're gonna compare it to regular desktop monitors, you're kinda missing the point. This thing can go with you anywhere, no matter what you're doing. If you're traveling across the world or you're going to the local Starbucks, this thing can kinda go with you. That's the whole point of it, and it does that by packing in a 7800 milliamp hour battery. So once you unplug the cable, it stays powered on. You don't need the power anymore. The only thing you need to connect it with is obviously the display cable to whatever you're driving it from. It has micro HDMI, but it also has USB Type-C for display ports, so you can use several different type of display outputs to connect to this monitor. It has all of that the way that you would need that. But let's go ahead and talk about the specs of the monitor. 240 hertz, obviously. 1080p IPS though, so you get really good viewing angles on all sides. So you can see that the screen is mostly matte. You do get some reflection, as you can see by the light that we're using right here, but for the most part, it's very good in a lot of different scenarios. It has 300 nits brightness, which isn't the best. However, it's good enough to be playing indoors wherever you're having to go. If you're trying to, be at the park and play video games, which I'm not sure how you'd power 240 hertz at the park anyways, you're not gonna get daylight usage out of this. But it also has a 3 millisecond gray to gray response time, which just means that the overall gaming experience on this is good. It actually runs like a regular 240 hertz monitor would, just in a 17-inch form factor and without actually needing to power it, and you can travel it anywhere in the world. And it's got a couple of other features. You can see right down here where the ASUS grill is, that actually has two 1-watt speakers, which aren't the greatest in the world. They're kind of tinny, no bass response whatsoever. However, there's no actual volume distortion when you reach 100% volume. It actually does okay if you're playing on like a console or you just need generic audio. This will work. It won't be a good listening experience, but it will be enough of a listening experience. However, what they do include on this, which is kind of cool, is this headphone port over here that's powered by an ESS 9118 DAC, which is the same DAC that you can find in motherboards such as Gigabyte's Aorus Master Series. So the DAC on here is actually pretty good. Listening to it with headphones, plugging these right in, you can get really good sound quality out of the DAC that's on this thing. So it can kind of replace your audio system a little bit to make a better listening experience if you're actually going to stay on headphones. Now let's talk about the battery life. You got a portable monitor. Obviously, you would want to make sure that you can go as long as you possibly can without plugging in the battery. And we have a couple of statistics for you. Number one, playing on a PC at 240 hertz, which I guess we'll have to talk about the conversation of how do you have a portable PC that can run 240 hertz. We'll do a separate video on that. But PC 240 hertz, we got 4 hours and 14 minutes out of that 7,800 milliamp hour battery, which is better than what ASUS was claiming because they say on their website that this thing can get 3 hours. We also happened to test it with a console running at 1080p 60 hertz. However, we did have the speakers doing the audio instead of leaving it silent like we did on the PC, and that was also about the same amount of time, 4 hours and 18 minutes. So it seems like the speakers are taking up some of the power that was otherwise consumed by the 240 hertz, and you get roughly the same amount of battery life if you were using, let's say, playing on a PS4 and you had your headphones connected to the controller instead of to the monitor. Well, your controller is going to die before this monitor actually is because the DualShock 4's battery life is atrocious. So overall, the portability on this thing is pretty good. The display is fantastic, and it has a couple of other features that we can make of note here. It has this stand, which is also usable as a cover. It's a magnetic stand. It's not the greatest in the world. It's fairly easy to set up. However, it's also fairly easy to knock down and just have it fall over, which isn't great, which is why ASUS also includes a secondary option for this, which is a version that has a stand because it has a thread mount on the back. You could use your own tripod, GorillaPod setup to mount this on your own. That's a possibility, but they do include a version with a stand that is $100 more. Should you pay $100 for a little threaded stand? No, you can buy a much cheaper one that's going to do the job easy peasy. I don't know why you would spend $100 on that. It's kind of like Eve charging $100 for their monitor stand. It's a little ridiculous. It's not a $1,000 Apple stand, but it's a tripod mount. Come on, people. It does have an ROG light on the back, which does not illuminate when it's on battery power. However, when you do plug it in, the eye turns on. It's not the most brightly illuminated thing in the world, but it is there. I'm glad it automatically turns off when it's on battery mode and that you're not wasting power on powering that. The build quality is pretty good. It's fairly sturdy. It doesn't feel like it's gonna break as I jab it into my table here, and it's not even really scuffed. This thing definitely seems like it can survive a trip in anybody's backpack wherever you're going across the world. It's 1 centimeter thick, weighs about 1 kilo. It's fairly portable. It accomplishes everything that you would want for a portable monitor. As far as the menu, it works. It has all of these buttons on the side. You can navigate it pretty easy, pretty intuitive to use. Has overdrive. The panel does have FreeSync. It's got Game Plus mode so that you can turn on crosshairs, timers, FPS counters, all of that kind of stuff. It has different color profiles, a blue light filter, ASUS's smart contrast ratio, has 5 different levels of overdrive for you to be able to control the ghosting that's going on there. And in the menu, it says something about auto rotation, but that probably is the dumbest menu option that they could probably have. It's automatically by default on, but as you can see, when I do this, there's no auto rotating that's happened because if you go into the manual for this thing, there's a cheeky little addendum to the auto rotation, which is you have to install ASUS's display widget. Therefore, auto rotation only works on Windows if you install the actual app that they need you to use. Not like if you're using this to replicate a phone, let's say the ASUS ROG Phone 2, where you would plug this in here, well then you can't get a portrait mode viewing to get it taking up the entire spot. It just doesn't work like that for whatever reason. Thank you, ASUS, for only making it auto-rotate on Windows for whatever stupid reason, but including it in the menu so that I think it's there, but it's not actually, and you kind of bamboozled me. But as far as the bamboozle of the monitor, it's a solid piece of tech. $500 is a hefty price to pay for a portable gaming monitor. It's not for everybody. This is not going to be your everyman's monitor, especially when it can be so easily knocked over like that. However, if you do compare it to the G Story that we reviewed last year, or you take a look on Amazon for 120 hertz portable monitors, you'll find that they are in the $200 to $300 price region. And so for this being about double the price of a 120 hertz monitor, you do get double the performance. So there's that. It looks good. It works really well. The IPS color panel with the 100% sRGB coverage does make it so that it's actually a pretty good mobile editing monitor too. So like if you need to do some color grading, it'll have 100% sRGB IPS. It'll work for that, but you're paying for that 240 hertz. And how many portable solutions can actually deliver 240 hertz is kind of questionable right now. Maybe some laptops if you're playing games like CSGO or Valorant, but not really overall in a lot of ways. However, I mean, the price tag is steep. I can't say it's not worth it. This is just a niche, high-end, bougie product that not a ton of people are gonna want. So I would say if you're in the market for a 240 hertz portable monitor, this is it. I mean, this is basically the only one that you can choose from. The price isn't stupid egregious, so I would say it's worth picking up if you know you need one. The XG17AHPE from ASUS ROG Strix gets my thumb up of, I wish I didn't have to spend money on this, but ASUS didn't send me the review sample, so I bought it with my own money. So if you want to help us out, you use the Amazon affiliate link that's in the video description. We get a small kickback whenever you pick one of these up, or any other portable monitor that you choose to pick up down below. But also while you're down there, you can check out today's video sponsor. Don't forget to check out Four Sigmatic. Go to the link in the video description, use coupon code UFDTech to save 10%. I love this coffee so much. I'm so glad they're our sponsor. This is good, freaking good coffee. And that's gonna be the video. What do you think of the ASUS XG17AHPE? Let me know down below in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Let us know if you want us to check out more portable monitors. I'm kind of interested in like what this scene has to offer as far as the high-end kind of stuff. The low-end stuff is really bad because you power everything over USB and then the response times are like 75 milliseconds. It's awful. 3 milliseconds on this thing. So let me know down in the comments. Get subscribed to UFD Tech. I love you guys. Packing in a 7,800 milliamp hour battery, which once you unplug the power, are you gonna stay on, boy? Do I have to turn you back on? You good? I haven't done this live. You turn back on? No. Why are you not working now? Oh, I unplugged the HDMI. Not the power. Derp. Let's retry that.